It is fucking wretched. Oh, I'm glad that we started with me saying fucking wretched.
Well,
You know what? I'm just gonna let my hair.
Kind of the state of things, isn't it?
Let my hair be a little terrible this week. My old bald guy swoop. I'm not even bald. Why do I say that? I've just got weird hair patterns.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so yep. Yeah, actually that's fine.
That's good.
Lean back. Lean. Sorry, I grabbed your boob there. Now I feel weird.
Oh, now you get promoted to a really, really high position in government.
The shirt is tight enough to make me look thin.
There you go.
I just stand here forever. Not saying a word. All right, everybody, it is back.
We're back, Rick. Is that you?
It is. I've aged so much since we last had a show.
might have had another kid. It's been so long.
I started and ended.
I'm not having any more kids.
I started and ended another podcast while you were gone. Yes, welcome everyone back to our most...
It was a summer break, Rick.
No, it was just us not finding time.
Yeah.
The most recent episode of Wrestle Crush Whenever. We are your hosts, the American Dadass, Jesse Long, and I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman. And Jesse, before we get started, I want to ask you an interesting question.
Why there's so many goddamn pop-ups on my phone? Sorry.
This shirt,
Yeah.
who is this?
That's Uncle Rick.
It's what is the amalgamation?
That is
here?
Thanos
Yeah,
and Ric Flair.
and Ric Flair, and he's doing the big...
Woo!
Right.
Woo!
One of my best friends in the world, my good friend Laura.
Yeah.
We were out recently, her fiance Steve, my wife and I, and it was for my wife's birthday. We were out drinking. No, they were drinking. I was driving.
There you go.
Kids. Oh, your battery's dying.
What? Oh, yeah.
How do we?
Can
we plug in?
Yeah. We can plug it in. Plug it in. There we go.
Okay. So we're out drinking,
I brought this battery pack and I forgot to plug it in.
and the following happens.
Okay.
Who's that on your shirt?
In a is that a drunken voice? Yeah.
Is that Aquaman? He looks like he's got Aquaman hair. Why is it purple? Aquaman's not, but he's got spikes on his shirt.
Well, at least she knew Aquaman enough to think that's Aquaman instead of Jason Momoa.
So I love Laura, but this is not Aquaman. It is Ric Flair
It's not
as
Aquaman.
Thanos.
It's not Aquaman.
I thought it was pretty obvious, especially he's like, "Well, you're a comic book fan and you like Aquaman." I'm like, I mean, your logic, while flawed, is not incorrect. So, cheers.
Yes.
Oh, wait. We have actual cheersing things.
Yeah.
We have literal cheers.
Yeah.
It's an anniversary event. It's a big event. We're finally back after weeks and months of being unavailable, and it's time for us to show you our not sponsor this week. And this week, as we have returned, Wrestle Crush Whenever is not sponsored by Cheerwine.
Have you ever had Cheerwine before?
Oh, yeah, many times.
Okay. I've only ever had like once.
You should not drink Cheerwine since 1917.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, a lot has happened. God, that's sugar. A lot has happened since...
I meant to get this from when I meant to get some when I was in North Carolina because this is like the soda of the motherland for me.
Well, right now, it's the only clean drinking water in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, we've missed a lot. We have an interesting rundown.
Yes.
You want to start with the one thing that was really important, like 2 months ago now, I guess?
That was about a month ago.
Was it?
It was about a month ago. There was a lot of build-up because there's a lot of time between the shows.
Okay.
Between Physical Punk Pro shows.
Okay.
But yeah, I figured we'd at least, we'd beat the dead horse and talk about the fact that our champion's still a 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl.
I was going to say, I thought she's 12 now.
Yeah. Champion's still a 12-year-old girl.
Yes. If you weren't aware, and you clearly are aware, that's why you're watching the show.
To say, if you watch this podcast and you don't know what happened to the belt,
the Wrestling Nerds Radio Network Internet Wrestling Championship belt.
Yes.
Champion of the Internet.
Yeah.
Our champion.
Yes.
Who was Effie.
Follow the belt at Internet Title.
Rip Effie. Rip Effie's title reign of our belt. He lost in dramatic and stunning fashion to the then 11-year-old phenom known as Izzy, now 12-year-old. Still undefeated 12-year-old phenom known as Izzy. And Izzy has reigned with an iron fist.
No one's taking a shot at her. I mean,
It's almost as if the 24/7, 365 rules of the title have been let go of or removed or forgotten.
Maybe. I think that the Florida wrestling community of wrestlers I think they're just too chicken shit to go after Izzy.
Well, they might just be.
What are you
gonna attack her on the school? You gonna go after her while
That's
her
true.
dad
She's
is
pretty safe.
nearby?
Like there's armed.
Cody will fucking kill you.
Yeah. I mean, most schools have
Actually,
have police officers on site.
Genuine fact. I'm more afraid of her mother.
Jenny's scary.
Jenny is the scariest woman I've ever met because she's the daintiest, politest, loveliest person. And then I saw her eviscerate people online, and not so many, and but 3 tweets, and I'm just like, oh
yeah, no.
It's like, hey man, you want to see a dead body?
At Chelsea Green. Yeah.
So
no,
what do you want to?
What
do you want to talk about? That's so
I just
important?
figured we'd touch on it because it happened.
It's our belt.
Yeah, it's our belt, and I don't
get to say that anymore. Is it now Punk Pro's like full? Like, are we fully?
No, it's our belt. It's Punk Pro recognizes our belt, and then hopefully.
I'm watching what's happening with your hands here. Is you having like this idle hands kind of situation?
I don't think it's the devil's playground.
You and I are having a full-on conversation in your hands. Like, I gotta put the cap on. I'm gonna take the cap off. I'm gonna put the cap on, and now, the cap's too tight. So now I gotta.
It's a secondary show for the.
I gotta get my shirt involved, and now my shirt in my hands doing that. And Rick pointed it out. And now I'm feeling self-conscious about myself. And no, and I'm turning the same color as my jacket.
Jacket. I know, jacket.
My jacket.
Jacket.
Well, Izzy's title reign is quite substantial.
It's longer than Stevie Fierce, longer than Frankie Gastineau.
Yeah, well, in Stevie Fierce's defense, I don't think he was that interested.
he was literally sleeping on the job. So, trying to think, what other title reigns has Izzy eclipsed of that belt? I think she might have beaten Bearsley at this point.
Oh, Bearsley did have a title reign.
Bearsley, maybe Maxwell Chicago. I don't know.
Oh, I miss Max. He was so much fun. Anyway, so what is your
definitely Luis Ruiz, which is a title reign I wish never happened.
What? It's because he drew on the belt.
Yeah, that's why. It is exactly why.
Yeah, well, he was adding his own flair to it.
Yeah, and he removed the flair that was already there. The pre-established flair. It had been going on for like 3 years at that point. It didn't improve the look of the belt. I'll say that.
So what's your rant here, buddy?
No, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been long enough. I think I can let the Luis Ruiz thing go.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit, maybe not.
Okay. Who deserves a run with our belt, like, honestly?
Leon.
Well, I was going to say Serpentico.
Yeah, Serpentico. That would be a good one.
He's slithery enough that he could get away with it. He's a snake.
If he's going to be the next Punk Pro show, I'm sure Izzy's going to be the next Punk Pro show.
Snake.
He might be able to snake it away from her.
Slither. He's a slithery snake. I just like saying that. So, your next bullet point on our agenda that went on for 8.5 weeks was Ding Dong, Bing Bong.
Big bong.
Brock is done.
Kinda. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Base.
That is the encapsulation of Brock Lesnar's title reign.
Brock Lesnar, if you're unaware, and again, you aren't because you're watching this show, is no longer the WWE champion. It is now back in the loving hands of the only other guy to hold the belt ever. No other Universal champions have ever existed. Oh, wait, that's not true. Goldberg had the belt for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So
I actually forget about Goldberg's title reign.
it's been Goldberg and Brock Lesnar and now Roman Reigns. Those are the only three guys.
Yeah, certainly not the fat guy and the skinny guy that the gay people like.
Well, the smiley Irishman. Those guys have never held the Universal title. Ever.
Nor should they, because they're way too small.
And I guess maybe Seth Rollins.
No, he never had.
Okay.
No. Yeah. No. Obviously, yeah. I'm sure if Vince had his way, Finn Balor probably never would have been considered a Universal Champion. Vince must have been like sick that day, and I was just like, go, don't. But Vince definitely doesn't want me to hold him. I don't care. I'll deal with that later. Go. It's fine. Seth is gonna hurt you anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, just get out there. Just get out there. Don't get injured though. All right. If you get injured, Dad's gonna lose all faith in you.
Oh, it was at that moment.
I'm gonna powerbomb you into the railing. Didn't you kill Sting with this?
Kill Sting. He's dead. He finally went to heaven where he wanted to be all along.
Don't worry, you're not 58 years old, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're young and good looking. You'll be fine. There's the camera.
So Brock Lesnar no longer the champion. Roman Reigns now has the belt. And while I'm glad to see the belt has returned to Monday Night Raw, it is not being defended.
No, because, well, you've got to promote 18 different shows.
Yeah. Well, the Raw World Title needs to be defended. It needs to show up on Raw, an improvement.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be defended in Australia, because the Australians...
No, it's not being defended in Australia. No. The Shield is back together. For this reason only, just to promote this match.
Oh, right, where it's like a War Games kind of thing?
No. You think they're going to do something nice? No.
It's
just the Shield versus Bacon Mac and Cheese.
Well, so it's a six-man tag?
It's a six-man tag.
That's very New Japan of them.
Yeah.
Selling a house
No,
show?
I'm not saying that the title has to be defended.
Well,
it's going to be defended.
Well, here's the thing. The WWE is not New Japan. It's like DC Marvel movies. The Marvel movies, and DC's like, we're not fucking doing that. Yeah. We'll just do our own shit, and it'll be terrible, but whatever. Yeah.
The flyover states are going to love it.
Well, no, they won't. It'll be full of SJWs because a woman's going to do something. Anyway, so Marvel does their own thing. DC does something counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So New Japan's like, hey, listen. Yes, Okada will be a 6-year champion. We understand that is a long time. But you will see Okada every time you come to a New Japan show.
Exactly, yeah.
So not having him and Omega have, a 45-minute match every given Tuesday means that they can bust out these crazy...
You mean he's not gonna have a 5-star match in Wyoming in front of 1,000 people?
No, we're not going to do
cameras in the building.
Although if you asked Ibushi, he'd probably do it, and he'd bust out a moonsault from the top of the goddamn United Center
onto literally the crown of his head
in front of no one with no cameras watching. It's for the art.
I think that's just what he does.
It's for the fucking art, Jesse.
That's just what he does. That's how he and his significant other have sex. He just jumps and he lands head first on the ground, and then.
Do you not know that story that he did? Apparently, he did like a moonsault in a completely dark and black arena where no one could see it and no one could know it was happening.
I did not know that.
It's all for the art, baby.
Yeah, commit to the bit.
Commit. So, ultimately, let me get back to my point. We're getting to see the belt regularly be around a waist, and it's being
unless they're doing like the big Shield entrance thing. Because did you know that Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion?
I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
And this brings me to a good point. Might as well, do this now. I am really not interested in the WWE.
Yeah, you made a comment about this recently in the professional wrestling nerds group. Search it on Facebook, and maybe I'll let you in. Anyway,
I like what's happening in NXT. A friend of ours, JJ, you can find him on Twitter. Actually, I really should pull up his Twitter handle. Not that he needs us to promote him.
JJ Williams.
I think it's at JJ Williams.
Something, but then there's like extra letters at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need our help getting well recognized. He
was a Punk Pro, wasn't he?
Yes. He's a JJ Williams WON.
There we go.
Yeah, he really doesn't need our help per se.
No.
But he is an awesome dude.
We might need his help.
He's an awesome dude, and I'm really happy that to speak with him whenever I get the chance.
You can usually find him in the background of NXT, or
you can,
generally in the same vicinity. Like if you see Izzy in the shot, like at the other end of the screen, there's going to be JJ.
JJ, he's got amazing.
He pops up a lot in the Mae Young Classic.
It's true. He's got a lot of good seats. But he had this great line about how NXT is basically going to become the Haas division now. And I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. He goes, just keep watching. And now we've got Keith Lee, and we've got Bro, and we've got all of these big badass motherfuckers.
I would count Cassius Ohno in there.
Yeah, Cassius is obviously the he's the jobber to the stars.
The elder Hossman.
Elder Hossman, jobber to the stars. The guy who makes everyone look like $1 million so that they get.
Yeah, I mean that's probably going to be Matt Riddle's.
Rydell?
Yes.
Matt Rydell?
Matt Rydell. His takeover, his first takeover match will probably be like.
Well, yeah,
he's been having a match with the Cassius on
I was gonna say that's sort of what you do is you show up at NXT, you beat
Cassius Ohno.
You beat Cassius Ohno. Cassius Ohno's like, man, this guy's really good, huh? And everyone's like, oh, but Cassius, and they're like, don't worry about me, I'm fine, I'm happy, don't worry about it, it's okay. But Cassius.
You know who I miss? Richie Steamboat.
Yeah. Anyway,
I miss Richie Steamboat.
So I like that NXT is sort of like transitioning to that kind of like hoss fight division. Yeah. I'm scared to admit this, but I think Walter could fit in there now.
Yeah.
That's weird, but it's also true.
Yeah. I don't know, he might be throwing red herrings out there that he doesn't want to get signed, but like
I throw red herrings out about that all the time too.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest red herrings of all time were the Matt and Hardys. That Matt and Jeff Hardy weren't coming back to the WWE.
That's true. Yeah.
So we've got
it'll
NXT.
be like, I'm not getting signed. I don't want to get signed. Fuck NXT. Blah 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 blah. And then like there he is in a suit on like
baby.
Yeah. There he is in a suit just in the front row, just like, and everyone's going, it's Walter. Yeah.
So there's that, but then you've got the main roster stuff. And what was the most recent development that caused me to go off the deep end?
Was it
that at SmackDown 1000?
Oh yeah, SmackDown 1000 Evolution is back together.
It is a mystery.
Yeah.
So on SmackDown 1000, they're going to trot out good old Ric Flair, and they're going to say, "Hey Rick."
Poor Unky Rick.
Yeah, they're going to say, "Hey Rick, get back in the ring," and he's going to go, "Woo!" and do exactly what they say.
Anything you say, boss.
Yeah, I just like being on TV now.
Yeah.
Oh boy, my nigga, she is fucked.
Hey man, I gotta take the new wife out to get some. I gotta take a second shake out to Lizzie. Man, this is special.
Jesus Christ, my fucking icon, my idol, my goddamn idol, the guy I always wanted to be.
Did you see his wedding photos?
They're not. It wasn't a wedding.
Oh,
it was a commitment ceremony. But yes, I know. He came out to the Ric Flair drip. I know. And
did he?
Yes. And I'm just watching
the photo of just like their tongues just. Like they're trying to fucking eat each other.
It's like watching the last 12 years of Hugh Hefner's life.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, on the one hand, man, he's getting
the last 12 episodes of those two jerks.
Aww.
Aww.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. I just felt like throwing it out there.
But yeah. He's like, wow, he's getting to boff all these 20-year-old chicks. And on the same token, like, they're definitely not taking advantage of him being an old man at the end of his life, looking back on his former glories and hoping for one more trip around the sun, are they? Mm-hmm. And then you sort of look at what's happening to Rick, and you're like, all right. So they're going to trot him out.
Yeah.
They're going to bring out,
it's not, it's depressing looking at Ric Flair. Like, I thought Mick Foley was the most depressing ex-wrestler, but, like, just the fact that he could barely walk down the ramp, but, like... Ric Flair's
Rick along with what's his name, landowner Steve, or what they call him, what is it, real estate Steve?
Oh, what are you talking about?
Steve Borden.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Rick and Sting need to both like you know who won out of Rick and Sting? Muta. Because Muta was looking around.
Top 5 on the top athletes mini-sode.
So Muta is looking around in the mirror one day and he's like, my hair used to be one of my signal. You know what? No, this is bad. And he looks in the mirror and he's got a bald head and and he's like, I'm still the great fucking Muta. This is fine.
Yeah.
And then you look at Sting and you look at Rick, and Sting, every move that Sting did in that move against Triple H punch, woo, punch, woo, punch, woo. Every fucking move.
He needs to consult Shawn Michaels about that hair.
Dude, just grow old.
Yeah.
It's okay. And the same thing with Rick. Like, I just said, he's my fucking idol.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's why you call yourself Rick.
It's specifically, yes.
Yeah.
My given name is Frederick, and by the way, so is his.
Is it?
Yeah, Frederick Flair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Anyway, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You've made it to that stage of your life where hair is no longer required, nor is it demanded. And if you're slicking it back and it's just like somebody once said the meanest thing I ever saw on the internet, honestly, was Baron Corbin was trying to get up off the mat and somebody freeze framed it and said, "How come Baron Corbin's head looks like Venom right now?"
Oh, I remember that.
And I'm just like, oh,
just his wet hair, just like.
And then, we love Baron. He was the original guy, and he shaved his head, and he looks like a fucking badass
he looks great now. Yeah,
it's super cool.
Yeah,
and
I'm digging the look of Constable Corbin. The storyline leaves a little bit to be desired.
I don't. Here's the thing. Again, another JJ quote here. I'm quoting him a lot today.
Yeah. As you should.
It's not the storyline doesn't matter. The fact that you see him on TV is the point.
Yeah,
that's the world championship.
Yeah,
and that's a great line.
Yeah,
but like I'm waiting for my hair to like finally be to the point where it's not to the point where I can shave it.
Yeah.
Like, I've got too much hair to shave.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do, too. Once this starts to, really...
let's go. Let's get this over with.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Yeah.
Like, I want my hairline to start, here. Yeah. And then I can be like, okay, this is good.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm done. So, I look at Sting and I look at Flair, and now Flair's coming out with the... we're going to see Batista, who we adore, and he's aging like a fine wine, and you just want to... I wish I could have more the hi, I'm Rick. Oh, good to meet you.
Yeah.
I wish that was more of a hey man, so my name's Rick. I'm really excited to be here today. Yeah. I think what you're doing is amazing stuff. I just read about your mothers. I think that's amazing. You're a champion of the LGBTQ community. That's incredible. Tell me more about you. Yeah. So this should have been like a 25-minute conversation, but it never will be. It never will, unless I get the opportunity. Maybe Ben will hook me up the next time he's in DC. We'll see. We'll see.
Did you catch that, Ben? I tagged you on Twitter. I didn't know that Rick was going to do that, but I tagged you on Twitter, so it works out.
Anyway, so Dave's going to be back for an episode, and they're going to team with Randy Orton, who, by the way, were you aware that he's still a regular employee?
I'm shocked. I'm surprised he hasn't been nominated to the Supreme Court.
Well, for all of the troubles of Randy Orton,
Supreme Wrestlers Court.
He's probably on it. There's been a lot of...
I really hope Wrestlers Court isn't a thing still.
Oh, it totally is a thing.
Is it?
Oh, it's been a thing for a long time.
Oh,
he's sort of.
I'd hope they'd outgrown that.
He's made a quietly nice career for himself.
Yeah,
he's an okay guy. Whatever.
He's apparently he's a shitbag.
Well, he's a hired hand now.
Yeah,
he's a good hand. Like, oh, we need another.
Oh, I mean, he's a. Are you trying to make some puns here about his hands?
No, I'm just saying he's.
Did you hear about? Did you?
No.
No, you didn't hear about what? I don't know who it was. No. I don't think it was Court Bauer, but it was someone akin to Court Bauer in the terms of just ex-writers. Actually, no, I think it was Court Bauer. It's talking about when he was there, what Randy would do to the writers, to any new employees that were the traveling, backstage employees. He would shove his hand in his pants, he would whip out his dick, and he would start jerking off, and then he would make you shake his hand. He would get up in your face, and he would make you shake his hand.
Now that's bad.
And then, if you didn't, he would be like, well, then I'm going to go tell Vince that you don't want to shake my hand.
What if I told
Luckily, Court Bauer apparently averted that, because right as he was about to do that, apparently Stephanie walked in the room.
What if I told you that sounds par for the course for pro wrestling?
Yeah. You're probably right.
Okay. Fine. He might be a shitbag, but in terms of pro wrestling and storyline mode, he's a guy that's there.
Yeah. So there's been a few times recently, I think he was backstage. This is after that revelation came out. He was backstage, and he was, he's kind of got this creepy character going on right now, with the whole, he was trying to, rip Jeff Hardy's ear out.
Yeah. Yes.
And so he was talking. He went to the production truck and he grabs the production guy by right here, and everyone was just sort of
I saw that week's episode of Botchamania.
Yeah. Anyway, so that kind of WWE trotting out things they maybe shouldn't be trotting out.
Yeah.
That leads us to the meat of this shit sandwich for this week.
The WWE is going back to the Arab Emirates, everybody. Let's go get the payday, and we'll bring it out to Shawn Michaels, and he was dead for like 15 years, but fuck it, he's back. And then we got Dusty Rhodes' reanimated corpse that we're gonna hang from the ceiling like a fucking marionette, and then we're gonna bring out the Sheik, and the Sheik's gonna win the Universal title, and then we're just gonna keep driving this motherfucker into the ground. But no women.
Yeah, so that was the condensed version of this.
The cheerwine has had a negative effect.
What the fuck is the cheerwine?
The cheerwine has had a negative effect. Yes, the WWE announced this week that we'll be returning to the UAE or Saudi Arabia or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
Some Middle Eastern country.
Saudi Arabia. They're going to... Yeah, I think it's Jeddah this time.
Will the Saudi Arabian World Heavyweight title finally be defended?
Nope.
Will Braun defend?
Nope. You know what? Well, he is probably the main event is probably going to be. Oh no, wait. No, the main event is is Braun, Brock, and Roman.
Yes.
So maybe he will bring out he'll trot out the cheap
big green belt.
Yeah, the cheap ass looking belt.
It looked cool.
Yeah, but in terms of like if you held it next to the Universal title, it would be like
it would be like half the size.
Yeah. It's like War and Peace versus like a little picture book.
Which is weird because of all the money that they threw at that show, they couldn't find like $40,000 to put a real title belt together.
No, they couldn't.
Okay, on the one hand, I still have friends in the WWE, and this is a huge payday for a lot of them. So
the payday.
I understand.
I understand. I do
get
too.
why it's happening. It is business. They are getting paid millions of dollars to go run essentially a house show.
Too. I understand that too.
I get it. I'm a little jealous in some way.
Yeah, I mean, like, but by the same token, like, yeah, I deal with financial hardship all the time, and a really quick solution to that would be to go down OBT and start sucking dick.
Yeah.
But I don't. Because I don't want to get nutted in the face.
I don't know if that's really going to work for you.
It might not work out for me. But just in a paper sense.
I have a friend, one of the people I train with at the Jungle, and someday I'll be back.
Yeah.
Fucking knee. The knee. Anyway, I will be back, but she is a professional cosplayer. Okay.
Yeah.
At the recent open house, I was hanging out with her and a couple other buddies, and I was like, "Hey, man, why don't if you get a YouTube channel, you can show everybody how you make your cosplay. You can make some coin that way. Get some, token fans to drop in some money." And she goes, "Ooh, that's a slippery slope." And I mean, what's a slippery slope? Well, you start off with a YouTube channel, and the next thing you know, you're doing private showings, and it just keeps going downhill from there.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, while true, that does sound very profitable.
Yeah. Now, one of my friends is basically paying for college.
I am not an attractive young woman, as shocking as it may be to believe. Yes, but I am a bit of a whore.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't think I could do it either. So I understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
This is a money grab.
Yeah.
It's a fine one.
It's a fine.
It's just the optics are really terrible.
It feels like it.
The optics.
Like I don't want. Like I know my friend does porn.
Yes.
To on the internet to pay her bills.
Right.
I don't want to watch it.
Nah, neither do I.
I don't want to watch it.
Now, is she one of your Facebook friends? Just out of curiosity.
Yes. Yes. Sidebar: I did accidentally find out what her adult name is, and it's very awkward. I don't want to know. I didn't want to know what it is. Anyway, it just feels like in my head, like I keep on. It's just I've been referring to it to myself as like this another Saudi booty call.
Yes.
It reeks of a booty call, and it's disappointing, not depressing, disappointing, because I feel like it's like watching someone you care about, have to stoop to prostitution.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that bad. I think what it is more than anything is it feels unwarranted. It feels like why do you need this much money when your product is theoretically making more money than it ever has before? And remember when we talked about this the first time they went to Saudi Arabia? It's because I said that the American market is essentially dead. And what I meant by that, I'm not joking.
No.
There are probably
the international markets are better.
Well, there are probably 5 or 6 states in the union that could afford to have a big time WWE event. Stop picking at your nose. It's just the cat hair, and you're just going to make it worse, just like you did with your eyes.
My nose is about to get runny. I didn't want like a big booger being down my face.
Anyway, so as you may remember, I've mentioned this before. Like I said, there's like New York, L.A., Dallas, Chicago, Florida in general.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the list.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where WWE chooses to run like their huge shows.
Well,
like
New Orleans, but that's only because of the Superdome.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Skydome, Rick. Skydome.
What? Skydome?
What? They were in New Orleans, and Hogan called the Superdome the Skydome.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, anyway. That's another person that's coming. We'll get to that.
So, I just don't think there's any money left in this country because the people who love wrestling in our country are mostly, red state MAGA hats who want to watch wrestling but are stunned and shocked to find that their paychecks just keep getting smaller and smaller and nobody knows why. It must be those damn Democrats.
It's all Kamala Harris's fault. And
you mean the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Anyway.
I goddamn hope so.
But I don't think there's any money in the American market anymore. Not in the same way. Like, you can't drop...
Well, WWE, their interest is now... Yes, they still do. They still do Backlash and TLC and this, that, and the other
and every
thing.
Raw and every SmackDown.
And that trickles all the way down to doing the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
But their main focus now is doing these like super hyper mega shows. Like they've discovered that they can, if they, instead of running one WrestleMania, what if you ran 3 WrestleMania?
Or just make every show WrestleMania, and then the American market gets like the bullshit. You know what? You guys will get the title changes.
Yeah, no, Pittsburgh gets Money in the Bank, and who cares? You guys are the ones that actually want to watch.
Right.
And you guys are the ones who are actually actively following it. Now, I will say Australia, I'm sure Australia actively follows.
And there's tons
and they're making a shit ton of money off of Australia, too. Yeah. That's like a WrestleMania level show.
You're not going to see any major title changes.
No, that's Australia. A glorified house show.
Yes.
I mean, they might do it for the sake of it. They might, maybe they'll finally put the title on Joe there. I don't know, because that's
maybe.
They've got some of the matches have ramifications, like Miz and Daniel Bryan is like for the #1 contendership. So we are going to see things like dovetail out of the Super Show, and that's another show. Like they're promoting like 4 fucking shows. Right now.
Show, by the way, the Super Show, all that. That's all going to lead to more things happening in America.
Yeah.
But it feels like the money is not in the U.S.
And the Australian show is the same exact thing as Crown Jewel. But the issue with Crown Jewel is that WWE is preaching this one thing. And they're all about, like, women's empowerment. We're about women. We are supporting women. We're having a women's pay-per-view. We have a show.
Wait, real quick. What's the name of the women's pay-per-view?
Evolution. It's a mystery, full of change that no one sees.
So, don't you think it's weird that they're like, we're gonna bring back Evolution on SmackDown 1000?
Yeah.
And they're like, but we also have a show called Evolution that just features...
Yeah. The WWE is so broad at this point. They double dip. They kind of They're kind of capable of double dipping. Like back in the day, they would change a person's name just because
your name can't be Shane.
Yeah, you can't.
We already got a Shane.
Yeah, we can't have 2 Lances on Raw. So, but now it's like it's changed. They'll have
name 2 characters in wrestling that have the same first name.
Same first name? I don't know.
Last name? I don't care.
Sasha Banks and Travis Banks.
Who the fuck is Travis Banks?
He was in the UK tournament. Anyway, but I'm not saying that because there's a Sasha Banks and a Travis Banks that
Trashy Banks.
Boom.
I said it.
Anyway, the Australian show and the Saudi show are the same thing. They're cash grab shows.
Yes.
But Australia doesn't like subvert women's rights and doesn't treat women as second-class citizens. And
In fact, one could argue that the United States could learn some things from Australia.
probably.
I mean, they are from the future.
It's true, they are in the future. Hi, Jason. I just the fact that they are having a women's pay-per-view it's funny. So everyone, when they announced there's this big speculation that they were doing a women's pay-per-view, and it was like, oh, they're doing a women's pay-per-view to sort of make up to the women for not being on the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Right.
And then it's like, no, we're not doing that. I think they even, like, WWE corporately was like, no, we're not doing Evolution because of the Greatest Royal Rumble. And it's like, no, now you're doing the Evolution because a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not doing it for the Greatest Royal Rumble. They're doing it because a week later they're going back.
to Crown Jewel.
Yeah, and they're not invited. I'm glad that women are getting a payday. I'm glad that, I'm glad that the undercard is going to probably get a really good payday. I mean, 90% of that payday is going to Brock Lesnar, but
no,
he's getting like three.
I was going to say, if they're getting another,
he's getting
40,
6 zeros for that.
Yeah, if they're getting another $40 million to go to Saudi Arabia, then Brock will probably get one of those 40. Which is absurd. He's getting one. That's why he came back. Yeah,
that's why he came back.
Fucking good for him.
Yeah, and then the second he boards, everybody else is gonna board a plane to wherever WWE is going next, and Brock's getting on a plane going somewhere else.
Yeah, he's going right back to North Dakota.
Yeah,
he's got a wife and babies.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can really rage against this too much. I don't like it.
I don't like the optics are bad.
The optics are terrible.
That's the.
You don't need to promote it.
No.
Here's the reason why.
Yeah.
Everybody in Saudi Arabia is going to fucking go to this thing.
Yeah.
Everybody
that the royal family will allow.
Right. Yeah. It's like going to North Korea. One of my favorite lines of all time from this administration, go Big Daddy, was he shows up after, I think it was Hurricane Harvey in Houston. And he walks out and he's on the tarmac and there's like this massive amount of people there because they're like, hey, our city's fucking underwater.
Yeah. they're not going, yay! They're going, hey!
And he walks out and he goes, what a tremendous audience. Look at this big audience.
Yeah.
Oh, it froze.
But
the timer's still going.
Timer's still going, so it's just stuck. It's okay.
It's okay?
I think we're going to let it go.
Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone real quick.
Yeah, make sure we're still going.
So, while I'm doing that, I'll continue my little story. So, everyone's like, oh my God, it's Big Daddy. He's going to help us. And Big Daddy shows up and he's like, oh, what a tremendous audience. And then he praises such a giant audience. Yeah. And then he leaves.
Thank you all for coming.
And it's just, that's sort of the same thing. And like,
did he throw them paper towels?
No. These were white people.
Oh.
So.
You already have your paper towels.
So there's a sort of a sense of that.
Stuck.
So there's a sort of a sense. Yeah, that's stuck. That's stuck,
it's
bro.
Stuck. It's
that's stuck, bro.
But all right, but it's still recording, so.
So
whatever. I got the audio. I can pull the audio. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Hey, we're back.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Hi.
Hi.
At any rate.
Yeah.
I think that, like,
speaking of nutting on camera for money,
there's Saudi Arabia will tell who to go, like North Korea will tell who to go, like Big Daddy assumes people are going because they want to. No, that's a gun in the back there, bud.
Yeah.
Smile for the fucking camera. You tell him you're happy to see him. So it's not like they need to promote the Crown Jewel. They don't need to promote this at all.
Yeah, the WWE. It would be better if they didn't.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, they used to not promote these shows.
Yeah,
they'd be like, yeah, we spent a couple of weeks over. What happened? What
happened
to the tour for the troops?
They don't do that. No, they still do it. They do tribute to but they don't tour. They don't go overseas.
Yeah, but there used to be a fucking tour.
Yeah, they
would go over there.
They would go with the USO, and they would go around, and they would like shake hands, and when
that damn Obama was in office, they do it every fucking week. Now that everybody's in charge and goddamn Linda works for the fucking government, we can't go over and do a USO troop.
No, they'll do it in Jacksonville or some other military town, and they'll just let.
Yeah, it's called a stop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're off topic. Crown Jewel.
It would be better if they just didn't acknowledge it.
I agree.
And then the other side of it that is frustrating is the whole I assume they're going to do it again. They're going to devote a whole segment to going, hey man, Yo, great Saudi Arabia is.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know that, like, women can drive now?
It's amazing!
Did you know that, like, if
It's
a
like
woman has a thought,
1928.
we don't stone her anymore? Like, maybe, as long as it's a thought that we decide is okay. But, like, did you know that, like, a woman is allowed to go outside? Look how progressive we are! And, you know, Byron and Corey will be sitting there going, like, man, this is great. It's been so great here in Saudi Arabia. They've been so nice, and, like, it's great. They're so progressive here. Talking about the gun in the back.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And
You
it sort of dashes any goodwill that the WWE. That's why I've been pushing that silly ass mixed message challenge graphic all on social media.
Yeah, and you know,
they're playing both sides of the aisle, but
I'm gonna play both sides.
yeah,
Play both sides.
they're playing both sides of the aisle, but deep down, you know, they care about it makes all of their progressive and forward thinking stuff feel really hollow and empty. And
Okay.
it's just,
You good?
yeah.
All right.
That well, the
I'm
other part that we kind of need to touch on, speaking
Okay.
of bad optics, is that Hulk Hogan's probably going to come back.
Nope.
You don't think so?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it?
No.
Do you not want to talk about the fact that they drove a truckload, a Brinks truck up to Shawn Michaels' house and said, "Dust off the boots"?
Nope.
Yeah,
No, don't want to do that either.
yeah.
Am I really going to desecrate this grave to make some money? Of course I am!
I really hope the Saudi government and all of them don't learn anything about Sean's philosophical leanings. Because I can't imagine they're too huge of a fan of that.
Hang on. I got to pull up a YouTube real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. There's a song.
There's
It's a very old song. And I think it was used in a movie.
dead air, dead air,
Um,
dead air.
No,
Dead
it's
air,
not. It's
dead
not.
air,
It's
dead
not.
air, dead air, dead air.
It's not dead air because I'm
No, I
explaining
know.
it a
I'm
little.
saying it's dead air right now.
And it was used in a movie, and I always sing it just when things like that happens. Yes, it was in Clueless. And
Great cinematic achievement.
Clueless. It was fabulous.
It was great.
Hold on, there's an ad. Gotta get by.
Oh, we could have played the ad. We could have gotten some sponsor money.
Get to the chorus! Anyway, the song goes, I don't care. I'm gonna be a supermodel. Everyone is gonna dress like me. Cause I'm gonna be a supermodel. It might even not be from Chorus. Like, that was the only thing I could find. From Clueless. But that's...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So before we move on to the next segment, I actually want to flip the schedule here a little bit. There is a thing on here, a factoid that you want to mention about Lita and Snitsky, and then we're going to end with something else.
I heard this factoid, and I just wanted to share it with you in a way that's just... We lament getting older on, every podcast that we have.
Not the point of podcast?
Yeah, exactly. It really is. Thank you for joining me on my potty podcast. In news today, I'm old. The end. Join us next week, where I'll be older. Go to audible.com/I'm really fucking old. Anyway, so the factoid was, had Snitsky not caused Lita to have a miscarriage,
her child.
that child would be 14 years old today. That child would be older than the internet champion. It would be closer in age to a friend of yours than it would be.
That's funny that the Snitsky baby is 14.
Yeah. The Kane Lita miscarriage
When he
is
punted,
14 years old.
when he punted that doll, that might have been one of the greatest moments in wrestling history.
Was that the same year as Katie Vick? I don't even know.
It doesn't matter. Let's finish with the most controversial subject ever of the week. New segment.
That's a good segment.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's got to have the whole build up.
Yeah, you gotta.
Of the week.
Of the week.
So, there's been discussion that perhaps Bree Mode
I forgot I put this in the run.
Needs to chill with the shit.
Yeah.
Because she almost killed herself on 3 different occasions since returning to the ring.
No, I think one of them was Nikki Bella.
Oh,
It's so hard.
How do you? They're literally twins, Jesse Long.
Twin magic. Hold on 1 second, Rick.
Oh, Jesus.
You can't tell them apart because they're fucking twins.
Oh, I gotta get up again. Oh my God.
I'm doing the one.
Oh God. But my knee, Jesse. Sorry. My fucking broken knee. All right. Anyway, I appreciate
That was just for our audio listeners. We switched spaces, and because we don't look anything alike, it was like we're twins. The twin magic high five.
Anyway,
I
you
appreciate
can tell them apart now. By the way,
I appreciate that Brie and Nikki Bella have really stepped their game up and tried to become actual pro wrestlers. As
Nikki
opposed
Bella more especially. Honestly, she's better. She's a hell of a lot better than she used to be.
It's almost as if Brie gave up on being a pro wrestler and just wanted to go be a regular person for like 3 years.
Like
and then
being a mom or something.
And then something happened, and now she can't stay at home anymore because she needs to be on the road, so she might as well be a fucking champion. So Brie...
Who's watching the baby? Who's watching the baby?
The Valkyries. So Brie Bella kicked Liv Morgan in the fucking dome really hard, twice in the melon, back to back, and caused her to get KO'd. Now this happens in pro wrestling.
Brutality.
Like a brutality.
Yeah,
with the
brutality.
kicks.
Yeah.
Now this happens in pro wrestling.
Followed by friendship.
It happens all the time.
It really does.
A wrestler will take a move wrong. They'll lean when they're supposed to tuck or something.
Yeah,
Famously, a guy once took a pedigree by deciding he was going to jump into the air and got planted on his fucking brain.
This one was definitely, they both. One of them zigged when they should have zagged.
And
it's the number of times my wife and I have bumped into each other and I got hurt because of some silly thing. Never mind. It's her hurting me, not me.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah. Help! No.
Did you just refer to your wife as a linebacker?
Maybe.
Hey, baby. Bam! Oh, Jesus! Did she pounce you out of the front door?
She could. She got strong legs. That's Bremo. So,
text to Nikki Long. Tune in to our show.
She's probably asleep.
Seek divorce papers.
No, I know for a fact that she would stay with me just to spite me.
Jesus Christ. You're saying the quiet portion loud again.
No, yeah. We were talking about this. Actually, came up last night. We came up last night. It was that if I just said I wanted a divorce, she'd be like, "No, but that's what you would want. So no, I'm not going to do it."
It's healthy.
It's healthy. It's mature.
This is a good relationship, Jesse.
It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, so Bremo. Anyway,
Brie Bella kicked
they
zigged when they should have zagged.
Yeah.
But that's not the issue.
Liv leaned in, and at the same time,
that's not the issue.
Okay,
it's not the issue. The last time we saw this happen live on television, one Anzak Amori,
ironically, an ex of Liv Morgan's,
managed to figure out a way to knock himself the fuck out.
Oh, he did that. I'll never know.
And not knowing that he was knocked the fuck out because his eyes were open and he was just sort of breathing weird, Simon
Isn't
Gotch...
that just how he normally is, though?
I don't know. Simon Gotch went out of the ring to try and pick him up and continue the match, and noticed almost instantly that he was KO'd.
Yeah, because
he didn't.
He
Threw himself out of the ring and
because it's not a video game and there isn't a big KO and like a blink.
But
over
there are
his head.
moments. There are moments in wrestling where you can tell your opponent is knocked silly.
Of course.
And what happened in that instance was when he picked him up and realized, oh shit, he's fucked up. He let him go and he walked away and he started talking to the camera and changing the narrative.
Yeah, the 15 seconds between them getting knocked out and then you have to. It's not so painfully obvious. So
right.
there's a reaction time. You got to be able to notice it. And when you're actively trying to put on a match,
So when you notice your opponent is KO'd, you have to try and work around that and maybe get them some medical attention or something.
Yeah.
What happened with Bree and Liv? So with Simon and Enzo, Enzo was knocked out. Nobody really knew, and then suddenly Simon notices. People start getting attention. Enzo gets medical attention. The match sort of stalls out.
Yeah, I think the match just sort of ended.
Right. Because Enzo KO'd the shit out of himself.
Won. But the vaudevillains won.
Yeah, it worked out great. So at that point, then everyone, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, starts blaming Simon Gotch for not working safe, and shit happens, and now he's no longer in the WWE. That's partially
because it was absolutely Gotch who dropped Enzo on his head. It was not Enzo.
Well, more to the point, it was because he didn't recognize that Enzo was KO'd and picked him up by his neck, which is such a no-no. But he also didn't continue the fucking match.
Yeah.
So when
it's not like he picked him up by his neck, put him in there, and started kneeing him in the dome until...
Or anything. He noticed he was KO'd, and he put him back down, and he was like, fuck, I gotta think of something.
Despite the fact that it's been known that Gotch's not a huge fan of Enzo Amore.
Well, no one is a huge fan of Enzo Amore. Made evident by the fact that he's doing really well since his release, huh? Anyway, why that is pertinent, why that even matters, is because, like I said, everyone went after Gotch for picking him up and continuing the match and all this other shit. When you're never supposed to do that. She's watching. I told you.
She is. Sorry.
It's okay. So when this happens in the ring, you see Liv fucking KO.
Yeah, like she clumped.
She got clicked. That happens. You get clicked. You fall down. Your body goes to sleep for a second or two. That's what happens.
Yeah.
After that, if she just clicks and then Brie rolls her over to like do a pin so that they can like finish it up or move along or something, that's all well. She doesn't do that. They pick her up and they literally drag her lifeless body over to her corner so she can make a tag. They do almost everything conceivably wrong. And everyone's really like, well, you know, accidents happen. Yeah. Liv fucking does a triple suplex a minute later.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen the match. I thought she just got on the apron and they were like...
No, she continued the match. And now, on the one hand, Liv is strong as fuck, or maybe she just didn't know where the hell she was. I don't know. But she was able to finish the match, so bravo to Liv. That's impressive. But we live in a world now where, and I saw this happen. This was on Thursday Night Football. I know you don't watch this. There was a guy. He went over the middle, and he tried to catch a ball, and two defenders like collided on him. One of the defenders kneed him in the helmet, but it didn't look too bad because it was mostly on the face mask.
Okay.
But the referees and the officials were like, bro, you got kneed in the head. You need to go and you need to get checked out for concussion right now. The guy's like, I'm fine. Nothing happened. Like, nope, concussion. Concussion. So he goes into this concussion tent. They do the test. Turns out he's right. He's fine.
Well, another example of concussion was Effie. When Frank walloped him with a chair, and then Effie was like, all right, well, I'm fine. And then next night, he's wrestling Jason Cade, maybe? I don't know whoever it was, and then something, and he just got lightly jostled in the head, and it sort of broke everything loose, and then he's like, oh, fuck, here I am. Yeah, and then
Right, so you don't fuck around with concussions.
No,
is the
you
short
don't,
story.
yeah.
And what I find most troubling about this, honestly, what I find most aggravating, now I'm very biased, because as we know, Simon Gotch is a close personal friend of mine, and and
we hate Enzo Amore.
I don't hate him, I just have no interest in him.
Yeah.
But I think it's really unfair for guys to just level the house at Gotch because he's not married to one of the biggest stars in the industry. He's not one of the biggest names in the world. and he's not someone who is going to headline pay-per-views anytime soon. So, because Simon Gotch is essentially disposable at the time that Enzo Amore knocked himself out, people go after him for not working safe.
Yeah.
Now, no one is going after Brie Bella for not working safe.
You're wrong. A lot of people are.
Explain.
I've seen nothing but the exact opposite reaction.
Tell me.
Because
I obviously haven't.
The reaction.
I've been watching the Kavanaugh testimony, so I've been busy.
Yeah. I don't know which one I'd rather watch. Liv getting clocked in the head or
the country?
The country getting clocked in the head. The response that I've seen is, oh, Brie's so unsafe. Oh, she fucked up Liv. She needs to retire now. And it's been a mixed bag of reactions. I mean, it's no one's fault. Liv leaned in at the same exact time Brie was like,
okay, but
and so
I hear what you're saying, but did Stone Cold Steve Austin refer to Brie Bella as a bad worker?
Probably not.
Because
she's married to Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Yeah.
Did the WWE instantly suspend her or job her out to R-Truth in less than 90 seconds?
Nope. No, and they're not going to.
No, they're not going to.
Because Brie Bella is WWE royalty.
Right. It's a totally different situation, and I'm not too dumb to not recognize that. But and I know that Simon was considered, a handful at times, but it was because he's an outspoken individual, and he doesn't shut up like I don't shut up. That's why we get along so well. Yeah. If you talk to us, you get real, honest opinions about things, and not smoke blown up your ass. And it bothers me that there is this double standard for people in the wrestling. Like, you're all pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
You're all on WWE TV. Somebody got hurt. So you have to change the program. They didn't bring out a trainer until after Liv tagged out.
Yeah.
They didn't stop the match. I saw what was her name? The young woman in the Mae Young Classic who broke her leg halfway through a match.
Tegan Knox.
Thank you.
There you go.
I saw her break her leg in the middle of a match. She crumbled to the ground.
Spoilers for round 2, by the way.
She starts throwing up the X. Everybody in the crowd is very concerned. Trainers immediately run out to she didn't finish the match because her leg was fucking broken. So the trainers come out, the ref waves it off. The heel in this situation, it was great that she was working with a heel who instantly I broke her leg, ha ha. But the crowd was very concerned for her. It was a mostly female crowd, and everyone was very no, come on, this sucks.
It wasn't you in the crowd going.
No, this was not the time for that. This was not the time for that. But it was an emotional, powerful moment. And when you bring a level of reality back into a wrestling program, you bring the crowd in even further. Yeah. There is nothing that the ref couldn't have done here to stop the match. Yeah. Say, she's obviously fucked up. We're bringing in some trainers. Yeah. They want to tout this as real sport, right? Tout! Yeah, I remember you remember how we were the first things on tout ever? Yeah. That's true, by the way.
Us and Derek Bateman. Derek Bateman loved him some.
We were the first two people ever put on tout.
Yeah, we were on tout for a while.
It's funny. Anyway, I was at that NXT show where you were Daniel Frypan and I was CM Chunk.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Anyway, they love to tout that this is real sport. Yeah. Sometimes in real sport, people get knocked out, and that's okay. Yeah. But don't pretend that everything's fine when the girls just.
I'm fine.
And then don't give one guy endless shit for actually doing something better than what the other girl did. This is a contradiction. It's watching this happen made me so angry because again, it happened to someone I'm very close to, and if the same amount of negative press happened at Brie Bella, then okay, fine. Yeah. But there was almost none. And she picked up her opponent, she grabbed her by the head and neck, she threw her into the what you want to talk about working unsafe? That's not knowing what to do in an emergency. Yeah. At least when Enzo knocked himself out, Gotch recognized it, put him right back down as quickly as possible, and walked away and waited for the officials to come help him. Yeah. It made me so mad. It made me so mad because one guy essentially had his career uprooted because of something he didn't do and couldn't be aware of, and Brie Bella is going to essentially have nothing happen.
Nothing's going to happen. She's going to have a. And she has a big match at the Superstar Soda.
And I'm not knocking her for the injury. Injuries happen.
Yeah.
Injuries happen. You do the best you can to avoid it, but injuries happen. I'm saying her inability to understand the situation after the injury happened and the complete failure from her teammates, both Breeze and Liv's,
Yeah.
from the WWE officials, from the referees, from the ringside doctors, from the trainers. There was a breakdown, a complete breakdown. God forbid something permanent happened to Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
If she had died in the ring, it would have been a breakdown and a failure on the likes of, there was a basketball player who died. His name was Hank Gathers. He had a heart condition. He died in a game of basketball during his college days. And there was no the electronic paddles. The reason why those are in gyms now is because he could have been saved. It was a heart attack. Mm-hmm. He could have been saved. He was down for like 5 minutes, and no one could figure out how to restart his heart. So now you've got these paddles everywhere. That shouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be to a state where there's a complete breakdown of every possible avenue. But Liv Morgan's okay, so we're not even going to talk about this.
I will say, from what I can tell, apparently the other two members of the Riot Squad sort of made a point to keep her, like, anytime she would try to do something, they were like, no, you need to stay back.
That's not helping her.
No.
They should have recognized, someone should have stopped the the JR quote. Will someone please stop the goddamn match?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The match did not need to
It's
continue.
not like when Owen Hart fell from a building and cracked his sternum and died in the ring that his opponent didn't roll over onto him and we need a quick 3 count, brother. You know.
Oh, God. I'm just imagining that.
So that's my rant. And it made me so mad. So mad.
The double standard is very unfortunate.
Well, Jesse Long, we're running out of show. Now it is time for us to go to the big finish, as it were. Jesse?
Yes.
As we mentioned on every episode, this is your show.
Yes, it is.
What is our lesson?
Our lesson, I feel like in 2 separate ways, I don't know if double standards plays into the crown jewel thing, but it just feels, I feel like the whole, like we've got the progressive stuff and we got the crown jewel, and the combating against that, and then in the same instance of Liv and Brie and Gotch and Enzo being like, there's 2 separate, it's mixed messages. I'm not trying.
If that's the direction, go with it.
I feel like
there's a lot of mixed messages.
There's a lot of mixed messages happening, and just I don't know what you do with that, but. There's a lot of mixed messages going on. That's it. There's no positive to that. There's no. Yeah.
So, I think what you're saying is right now we have a lot of good and bad things happening in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of real good stuff, and when we speak of pro wrestling, sadly, we're mostly just speaking of the WWE because we don't necessarily follow New Japan or any of the other major industries in our little nectar of the universe outside of Punk Pro, which we're completely attached to.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is right now the WWE is sort of taking 2 steps forward, but like 3 steps back, or maybe 3 steps forward and 2 steps back.
They're like,
there's some
but they're
progress.
taking they're taking I would say 3 forward, 2 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what amazing progress. Never mind, it's just kind of progress.
Yeah.
Progress pro wrestling.
There we go. They're still making
they're
a step
making
forward.
strides,
Yeah.
but they're
making a lot of strides, but then they're also falling back, so it's like they made a baby step. So
not quite forward.
Yeah.
Forward, just not very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That will conclude.
Very much like Sisyphus. Just
very Sisyphusian.
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 Teaching you how to say Sisyphus is Sisyphusian. By the way, that should be like an audio clip of it. Sisyphusian.
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 That's our new outro. Just
Sisyphusian. Sisyphusian. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again on a all new episode, as you could tell, of Wrestle Crush Whenever. We hope to be back to our every other week schedule once again. Yes. We did have a lot of life-altering situations befall us in the last couple of months, so basically we just couldn't find time to sit down in my fucking apartment and talk about shit.
Yeah.
It's true. It's what happened.
It's true.
Hey,
it's whenever.
And it's because we don't have we don't call each other and do like Skype, because it works better as like a live broadcast, because then it's just done. Anyway, For the American Dadass Jesse Long, I am the Sussman Rick Sussman, and this is your subtle reminder. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter what time, it doesn't matter where. There's always time for Wrestle Crush, whenever.
There we go.
Oh, EC3 in